Welcome back. You're watching Real Estate. Ghulam Zia still with me here to take some of your real estate questions. Let me welcome our first viewer, Arunab Prasad, who's joining us from Bangalore. Hi, Arunab. Tell us, how can we help you? You've zeroed in on a few properties in Bangalore. Tell us, which are these? And you have mentioned that your investment horizon is 5 years. You're looking purely from an investment point, if I understand right.
Yeah, that's correct. Hi. Actually, I'm looking to invest in north of Bangalore, and the 4 properties which I had selected are Galaxy Developers, the Orchid Woods from Galaxy Developers, Unishire Terraza from Unishire, Bhartiya City and Samruddhi, the Northview Apartments from Samruddhi. So if I had to invest in one of these, which one would you recommend? And should I look at properties other than North Bangalore, since I'm looking purely from an investment perspective? And should I look at places, are there other properties which I should look at in North Bangalore? And but before that, I had a very fundamental question. If this is the right time to invest in, because there are news in the market, and I think I had seen it in Bloomberg itself, that their inventories are piling up, and there are news that there would be a price correction in future. And if not correction, at least a stagnancy in price going forward.
Ghulam, he's asking a very relevant question, which probably every property investor is asking today. We've seen a bit of a correction, but the expectation is we'll see a greater correction going forward. Is that correct, first of all, according to you? Secondly, is this the right time to invest?
Well, so far as our understanding of Bangalore market is concerned, first of all, let me clarify that this is a very matured market, and when I say matured market, these are very stable prices that we have seen historically in Bengaluru. So what it means is that your property appreciation will be directly linked to inflation, and then a small 150 to 200 bips higher than inflation is the kind of rate that you can look at. So while we have seen recent past inflation touching 10% thereabouts, etc., you could have looked at about 10 to 15% appreciation for the property. But then beyond that, if you're talking about property prices appreciation that you would perhaps see in other cities like, for example, Delhi or Mumbai, well, Bangalore is a market which is an entirely different market, where you can't really find a property appreciation of that type, where perhaps in 3 years or 4 years you will see prices doubling up, or 3x or 4x, which is possible in those cities. That doesn't happen here in Bangalore. Having said that, since we're talking about current timing, let me tell you, it is not very bad in terms of if you are expecting huge price climb downs. Well, I don't agree to that, because while first quarter of this year was a bit bad, I'm talking about quarter ending June was a bit bad, but July, August, September, we have seen fantastic sales all over Bangalore. Pretty much every developer is extremely happy with the kind of response they're getting in the market. In fact, a few places we have seen property prices actually going up in last month and a half by 10 to 15%. So that is clearly indicating a slight change in what the things were perhaps about 6 months back or so. And in fact, when we look at the pan-India scenario, Bangalore is the only city which is bucking the trend. Everywhere else, there's a very chilled market. There's hardly any movement. But here is one market which is really going good. So if we are expecting price corrections or prices to see downward trend, at least we don't agree to it. In the short term, at least it is not happening.
All right, Ghulam, thanks for that. Let's move on to our next viewer, who's further down south. Pushpendu Chand is joining us on the phone line from Coimbatore. Hi, Pushpendu. I believe you're looking out for something for your brother in Coimbatore.
Correct. That's true.
What are you looking for? What's your budget like?
Budget is somewhere around 30 lakh.
30 lakh.
25 to 30 lakh. Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
And your brother intends to stay there, or are you looking from an investment point of view?
He intends to stay there. This is for Indian purpose only.
For staying purpose, you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay. Ghulam, he's looking at it not from an investment point of view, but to stay in that place. Coimbatore, does that throw up good opportunities? And where in his budget of 30 to 35 lakh do you think he can find something?
There was some bad economic scenario in Coimbatore for some time, but recently in last year and a half, once again things have started looking up, and the prices have still been not bad. I would say 3,000 to 4,000 rupees, you can find a house pretty much anywhere in the city, the best of the places. Whereas 2.5 to 3,000 rupees a square feet is the kind of price that you can expect for most of the other location. Now, the locations that your viewer is asking for is pretty central. It's very close to town hall. The two projects that he has identified, one in Selvapuram and the other is in Telugu Palayam. Both these are very close to town hall, and the location wise very well connected. And these two projects that he's been talking about, especially the Purvankara one, Provident Green Housing project, is a pretty good one. It's a good township with all facilities like swimming pool, clubhouse, and everything thrown in. So the prices also that indicative price that we have currently are pretty good, and he can find a 1 BHK apartment in that budget in this project itself. So besides this, there are quite a few other developers who are doing good job, like Sobha is there, Ramani, TVS, Akshaya, many of these developers of repute are in Coimbatore, and all of them are pretty much well in the budget that he's asking for. So I'm sure it's ultimately going to be his choice, because the person wants to stay over there, his brother wants to stay over there. So convenience in terms of traveling from place of work obviously will rule, and accordingly he can pick up the best place that he can buy from market.
All right, Ghulam, thanks very much for joining us and sharing your perspective and advice with our viewers today. Time for a quick break here on Real Estate, but to get our expert opinion on your property matters, feel free to call us or email us. Details coming up on the screen. On the other side, we ask Cushman & Wakefield's Carlo Santalbano what he makes of the Indian realty market. That's coming up in just 2 minutes.